So, Halo ODST.
It was a good game.
It was a good game. Greg didn't get it.
I didn't get it.
Greg's a loser.
He is an idiot. Alright, anyway.
I got Gears 2. What do you want from me?
Shut up. Alright, moving along. Alright, so just general combat.
It's about the same. You just don't have any shields, and once your stamina goes down, that's when you really got to start taking cover and play it smart, because otherwise you get beat
and then
down real
health
fast.
does not regenerate, like you hope it would, so you have to find health packs and stuff like that to stay alive. And obviously when it comes to things like Legendary, it sucks. I don't know if it's harder than the other ones, but I definitely know Legendary sucks in this one, and it helps out to have friends that have the game.
Don't look at me.
I'm looking at you, you fat burger.
My burger?
Alright. But,
it's a tasty burger.
I bet it is fast. Alright. But, I don't know, easy, is easy. It's more like fun, really, especially in the brand new firefight mode, which for those of you that play Gears of War 2, it's basically Horde. It's got its own design to it, it's not the same where it's just a bunch of waves. It's got, rounds and
waves inside of rounds.
Yeah, exactly. So
it's a lot harder than Horde.
Yeah, it's harder than Horde.
Lasts a lot longer too.
Oh yeah,
definitely. But yeah, just again, overall, general, just combat style. It's definitely more human because obviously you can't jump a story high like it feels like in Halo, or 3, whatever, any of them, and but I don't know. Probably the biggest cool thing I noticed is that when you kneel down, he actually walks like a normal person would. If you're kneeling down, the camera rocks side to side and stuff like that. You don't run as fast.
Unless you're holding a turret or something crazy.
Yeah,
like that.
it still has the fucking, if you run at an angle with a turret, you still run faster. Which, whatever. FYI. But, one other thing I really noticed is there is a lot of kickback on weapons now. It's not just where as you're firing, the reticle kind of goes up, but then it goes back. No, this time, if you're just firing your awesome new silenced SMG, you'll just, eventually, be aiming close to up. So, you actually have to hold it down. They brought back the Halo 1 pistol, except it's silent this time. So you can zoom in, and it raves. It's a lot of fun.
Not as powerful, though.
It's not quite the Halo 1 pistol.
Right.
But close.
So, but, combat's a lot of fun. This time you have to be actually tactical about it. You can't, you are not Master Chief.
Definitely.
But you will remind yourself about 100 times, like the first few hours you're playing, because you're going to want to jump in and kill everything. And you will either get close to dying or actually die doing it. So, you actually have to be tactical. But, again, it's fun. And, if you have, another person or 4 people playing with you, it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like if you've ever played, like Rainbow Six or something like that. You actually have to hide behind stuff and, tactically take everybody out, and it's fun. But generally, just running around the city, I thought that was awesome. It's great. It's actually a pretty big city for what I thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And, enemies get more and harder as the story progresses and stuff like that. And, you find out new weapons and... But, it's just a lot of fun. And one thing that was really neat is I feel like they really just set the mood for the game. Because, just the general storyline, with the flashbacks and things like that, even like the music. I know it's not like Halo's been known for their music. But, but yeah. Don't look at me. But, they got everything, like in an emotional part. They have a little, piano going off in the background. Makes you not want to cry. But,
Bang. They got that kind of jazzy music when you're rolling around in the night, too. It kind of gives the jazzy music here and there. The little saxophone.
Yeah. But, which reminds me, nighttime, the new visor. Wow, that thing is awesome. It's like night vision, but it also outlines, like, everything. Enemies, buildings, weapons, points of interest and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And, another thing that's great and new is the new map that you can look at, in your menu, is because it actually has like a top-down 3D projection of the city. So if you zoom in, you'll kind of notice buildings actually get closer to you. And, it's pretty neat. And it's kind of one of those cool things, like, I know when you're playing on Legendary, you start to get better at actually sneaking around and being tactical because, again, you're not Master Chief, and you can't Rambo everything. So you actually eventually start just not fighting and sneaking around people, and you'll live longer doing things like that. Mm-hmm. But as far as the flashbacks go, I thought they were great because that's where the just main real chunk of the action is. Because in single player, or I mean not single player, but when you're in the city, you're mainly just sneaking around, getting to the flashbacks. But in those, it's actually all the heavy action. You're in the middle of after that warp gate jump in Halo 2, and this city's being attacked by Covenant and stuff. So you actually are defending it, blowing stuff up. It's a lot of fun, and you play as the multiple squad members that you learn about at the beginning, which is one thing I really liked. I love that beginning video when you actually get shot or dropped out of the ship,
mm-hmm.
and you fall into the city because you're actually like, wow, I'm falling from space. This is tight. And then, of course, I'm sure as many of you have seen that video where, you see the warp gate as you're falling, so that's where you crash and apparently go into a 6-hour coma. But,
I was kind of disappointed, though. I was hoping you'd actually get a drop all the way to the ground. I thought that would have been neat, but the way they did it still turned out good. I liked how you were way up there and you got the feeling of dropping out of orbit.
Yeah. You do kind of get the feeling, though, with it. There's a lot of great, it doesn't feel like there's any missing noises or, like it's just things are generally boring at a moment. You're actually just like, Jesus fucking Christ, I'm dropping out of a ship. But it's all, it's pretty cool. And then just generally the cutscenes, it's not like they've had 3 games to work on it, but they're good. They explain story real quick, but any little maybe side stories, little possible relationships between certain squad mates that you find out during the John's fucking sicko. God damn it. But, and then you learn about the squad mates during the flashbacks, and there's always, big epic things that happen during them, and they're always pretty cool. Things like that. Breaks a fat ass.
On the last mission where you're... I'm not going to put any detail or explanation through it, but if you play it on an easier difficulty, it's It's really cool if you look through the cutscenes, or not cutscenes, but the movement that's going along.
Yeah, I know what you're
stuff.
talking. Yeah,
background. It's neat to watch.
Because one thing that I really kind of noticed is it does have that kind of deep feeling between Halo 2 and Halo 3, the actions that you miss as Master Chief, what's happening on Earth, in your absence, and then, basically the where Halo 3 comes in at the start of all that digging for that gate portal starts at the end of ODST.
The snark.
Yeah.
The arc.
Whatever.
It's not a snark, it's an arc, you dumbass.
For us Halo nerds.
But yeah.
People that know.
But yeah, it's really cool. Mm-hmm. And then one thing that I thought was neat is during flashbacks, a lot of times you're in the city itself, and then when you come back as the rookie, as he's known, the silent guy that never talks, but he's a badass.
Not Master Chief, but
whatever. Pretty much.
He was the same guy. Super
he's his
quiet.
Apprentice.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of neat because you'll, kick a bunch of ass in the flashback, and then you go back as the rookie and basically go back through what you did, and, it's not like you see the destruction of it all the time, but, it's just kind of neat feeling that you're going back through doing other stuff.
And you don't have to go in order, too. You can, piece it together different missions at a time. You don't have to bing, bada, boom, one after another.
God, you fat.
But, yeah. Bing, bada, boom.
Yeah, whatever.
You can boom, bing, bada if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mix it up.